We be different.
Grace, peace, and blessings to you all. Welcome back to another edition of The Be For Real Show. I'm your host, Brother Brooks. Glad to have you back with me for another edition. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot write a better TV or movie script than what's going on in real life over on Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C. in the Biden White House. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a good baggie of the white booger sugar has been found in the White House. Now, I know it sounds crazy for that sentence to leave my mouth or to enter your ear canal that cocaine has been found in the White House. Now, I'm not saying that this is the first time that cocaine has been in the White House, but we got to think about something. It's 2023, right? And the security measures for this particular location are probably some of the strictest and best security measures in the world at any facility. You're going to have Secret Service agents. You're going to have drug dogs, paraphernalia dogs, or whatever you call them. All kind of security to get into the White House. You would have to be a special kind of stupid to bring a controlled substance into the White House. That is, if you are a reporter, a staffer, a common person, a tourist. Even a tourist is not dumb enough to get a substance into the White House. Furthermore, if someone, let's just say you did have someone that had something on their person coming into the White House, they would not make it all the way in with that substance. Of course, in any federal building, you're going to have metal detectors. In this one, you're going to have metal detectors and dogs and Secret Service. You're not going to be able to get into that building as a staffer or a common person with a controlled substance on your person, enough so that where you can get it into a cubby or a locker and that be found later on by the Secret Service. But who knows, right? I'm thinking, and this is just speculation because I do not know, it's my speculation that it had to be someone that is either a Biden family member or someone that is linked to the Biden family who had less security restrictions going and coming about into the White House to be able to get this substance in there. There's no other way that this substance is going to get into such a secure building by a common person. But I digress. Let's see what the girls on Outnumbered had to say about this Biden booger sugar fiasco. Take a look.
Now we begin with new details and a lack of answers following the discovery of cocaine at the White House. Federal officials are now reportedly running DNA and fingerprint tests on the small bag of cocaine, all in an effort to potentially track down the culprit. The White House says the bag of cocaine was found in a heavily traveled area of the West Wing, while the Secret Service tells Fox News that the drug was located in a cubby used by staffers and guests. And while the investigation has been underway for just 4 days, one law enforcement official familiar with the situation is already telling Politico that it is, quote, highly unlikely that a culprit will be found.
Check it out. See, they're already covering it up, right? Now, we know that the Secret Service's main duty is to protect the president and the president's family, right? Now, I don't know if that also includes covering up illegal activities, but I would assume so in this particular case, right? Because they're saying right there that legal officials are saying that it is highly unlikely that we will find a culprit, even though it's been 4 days now, 5 days by the time this video drops, and they're running DNA and fingerprint testing. Now, I don't know how long of a process that is, but I kind of would agree with her that we won't know who this is, even if they know.
Really? Meanwhile, President Biden wasn't at the White House when the bag was discovered, but he's still keeping quiet on the whole situation.
Come on, guys.
And White House Press Secretary Jean-Pierre faced a barrage of questions about the cocaine discovery, to which she answered none of them.
So what's preventing a visitor from bringing in anthrax or something that's not magnetic into the White House?
No,
Good question.
I totally understand the question, but it is under investigation.
Does the White House support the prosecution of this individual?
I'm just not going to get into hypotheticals from here.
Would the president be satisfied with, sir, this is a busy room and we found some cocaine, we don't know who brought it?
So let's see what the Secret Service says, right?
I don't know who that reporter is, but she is a savage for that question. That was funny. Whoever you are, keep doing your thing. We got to ask Karine the tough questions. We know she's not going to answer anything ever, but you still got to ask the tough questions and make them flounder a little bit.
How determined is the president to get to the bottom of who brought illegal drugs into the White House?
The president thinks it's very important to get to the bottom of this.
Wow.
Kaylee, the only thing to me more patently unacceptable than finding drugs in the White House would be the press secretary's absolute refusal to address even one question about
Surprise.
it. What are your thoughts on this whole thing?
She brought nothing.
Right.
I would not have walked to that podium without saying, Secret Service, you have to give me something here. I mean, you read the headline from Politico. Daniel Lippman, the reporter there, got more than the press secretary of the White House. She said she did have some information to add, and it was this: the president and the first lady and their family were not here this weekend. That's not new information. Okay,
Right.
We've known that. All you have to do is read poll reports or reporting about where the president is over 4th of July weekend. She brought no answers, totally inexcusable. And just to break this down for our viewers, this entrance, it's the basement of West Executive. So this is the road that runs between where most of the White House staff works in the West Wing. It is heavily trafficked. That is true. Press does not go through this door, so that rules out the press. There's a Secret Service agent sitting at the desk right in that door at all times. So this would have had to have been left in front of a Secret Service agent. They rotate. I imagine they would have found this pretty quickly because you have someone staring at the entrance and looking around the room at all times. It's so heavily trafficked that guests come through. My mom's been through there, my sister, my dad, baby Blake, though she didn't bring cocaine in there. Someone did. Not my daughter.
So I'm glad that Kaylee McEnany kind of gave a little bit more detail about the exact process of what it would take to get something like this into the White House. She's literally saying right there that at this particular entrance, there's a Secret Service person right there in the front, checking all cameras, all angles, looking everywhere. This is a 24-hour process that the Secret Service agent himself would have had to see this come in and either allowed it or it just wouldn't happen. That's pretty much the bottom line. So again, I say the Secret Service is there to protect the president and the family from all hurt, harm, and danger. And my assumption is that they are, and it is an assumption, it's pure speculation, that they are assisting in covering this up. Because right now, if your last name is Biden, you cannot afford another scandal to be attached to your last name going into the 2024 election. It's going to be an uphill battle for them when it comes to their voting base. And I say that, but if I look at it from another angle, if Donald Trump is the Republican nominee, then it would not surprise me if, after seeing 4 years of this complete and utter lack of any transparency, lack of accountability, we're not even going to get into policy issues. We're not even going to get into outright failures and some of the just absolute ridiculous choices that this president and administration has made to get this country into the position that we're in right now. I mean, we were headed on the way up while Trump was in the office. COVID hit, which I still speculate there was some funny business going on with that. And trust me, I'm going to do another show. We're going to revisit COVID. I think it was some funny business going on to kind of throw Trump off track. He was doing way too good. You were doing good as well in this country. I know you were. If you're not, you're lying. Everyone was doing fair to middling. This is an old term we used to use. But everyone was doing pretty doggone good under the Trump administration until COVID hit and the bottom kind of fell out, right? But we basically are saying that 81 million people voted for this. It's not like we didn't know that the president had a son with some issues before the election. We didn't know about the laptop. Trump said something about there being a laptop out there, but of course it was Donald Trump, so who's going to believe anything he says? All he does is lie, right? So we didn't listen to reason then. We're in this position right now where the country is in just a absolute mess. It's everything is divided. Everything is backwards. And look at what the White House is going through right now. Biden is going through impeachment inquiry process right now as we speak, which I don't think is a really good idea because let's just be honest. If Biden gets impeached, then we're stuck with Kamala Laugh-A-Lot Harris. So it's kind of, which dung pile do you want, the left or the right? So whatever. Just let the guy finish his 4 years out. He's not going to get any better. I would not be surprised if things get worse. And having Hunter around at the White House, I assume that the reason why he's there so often, because that question has been brought up. Why is he always around? Why is he at the state dinner? Why is he with foreign officials hobnobbing right after being charged with felonies and basically being indicted and given a slap on the wrist, so to speak? I believe that they have Hunter around and the entire family around to show a sense of Biden family unity, which politically, okay, I agree, good move by you, right? But the American people are not stupid. I say that. The American people are not stupid, right? I'm trying to get myself to believe that. But it would not surprise me yet again if in 2024, a lot of people still go out after all that we've seen and vote for Joe Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be nice here, right? Now, there's a whole lot of mean things that I could say when it comes to the 2024 election, but I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to say is before you go into that voting booth in 2024, examine your heart, look at the evidence, do some research, or just open your eyes to everything that's going on. It's obvious that this is a president who is driving this country into the ground. Everything is going wrong. Everything is backwards. I don't want to say it can't get any worse because we just found booger sugar at the White House. So nothing is going to surprise me about this administration. Nothing is going to surprise me about how worse it can get. Or at this point, I'm kind of assuming or waiting for the worst to happen or something even worse than this. Not going to be surprised. We got a president who's in bed with our enemies, who is giving money to the Ukraine, who is in bed with China. I mean, it's a laundry list of violations that have happened by this president, and it's just too much to name. So I'm gonna leave it right there. We're not gonna talk about all the things that I could talk about because I'll be here for another hour or two going over all the strikes against the Biden record or the Biden last name. It's not good right now to have the last name Biden and be anywhere near politics. But the good thing is that if you are a Biden and you're in politics, you probably can get away with murder, literally, right now. And you probably get a slap on the wrist. I doubt if we find out who is the culprit for the cocaine in the White House. If we do get someone at fault, it's probably going to be a foul guy that's being paid off. They're doing fingerprint and DNA testing on this bag of cocaine. So they're going to find out exactly who it was that is responsible for possessing or at least being in contact with the cocaine. But guess what? Common folk like you and me will never really know the truth until maybe after Biden is out of office and everybody who was involved is probably going to be writing tell-all books, dropping documentaries and movies. Then we'll find out what really happened. But for right now, don't hold your breath. It ain't happening.